So am I audible properly to everybody, or is there any disturbance from my end?
No, no disturbance. You please go ahead.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much.
Let's wait for another 2 to 3 minutes. Some other people can join with us.
Okay, sure, works. Okay,
Yeah.
let's wait for 5 more
We will
minutes.
wait
Okay,
for another. Yeah, please. Couple of
Okay,
minutes. We will wait.
okay, sure.
A warm good evening to one and all, dear participants. So let's start today's session by introducing our resource person, Vinutha ma'am. I am very much delighted to introduce Vinutha madam, which is a distinguished professional currently serving as a technical lead at Oracle Research and Development. With over 10 plus extensive years of experience in industry, Vinutha has established herself as a highly skilled technologist, mentor, and leader in the field of software engineering. Throughout her illustrious career at Oracle R&D, she has been involved in the design and development of enterprise-level applications and next-generation solutions that power global businesses. Her core areas of expertise include cloud computing, enterprise software architecture, database systems, and product innovation. Vinutha has led several strategic projects demonstrating exceptional technical depth, analytical thinking, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. Her professional journey reflects a rare combination of innovation, perseverance, and leadership. She firmly believes in continuous learning and the transformative power of technology to improve human life and organizational efficiency. We are very much privileged to have Vinutha with us today. Her insights and experiences from Oracle's research and development ecosystem will undoubtedly enrich our understanding of real world technological applications and inspire participants to strive for excellence in their respective domains. Thank you. Dear participants, I am handovering the session to Vinutha ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anita ma'am, for this. Hi everybody. It's Vinutha, as ma'am mentioned. She gave a very beautiful technical description about me. In simple words, if I have to be, I was a student of Anita ma'am once, and even I completed my graduation from Kalpataru Institute of Technology. And it's my privilege today to be a part of this. Okay, so let's just get started. Let me share my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll not be on video until I finish the session. In the end, during the Q&A, we can have a discussion.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, screen is visible.
Okay, sure. So today I mainly want to discuss on how we can empower the tech education, basically engineering, consider it BSc or any technical education related to either computer science or mechanical, anything, using this AI. So which will help us, to take the student from classroom to a better career. So to enable this, who is better than the faculty who is here today? So these are the major things I want to focus today. In this entire session, we'll be focusing on AI and projects, placements, and the real-time handbook which the faculty can use. So a small brief apart from what ma'am introduced. Like in my role, I closely work with the R&D team, especially with the real-time systems, where I'm a part of AI integrations, data science driven projects, and I daily work with integrations where we have software development and these data science AI ML projects which are getting integrated with this existing softwares. So this experience gives me the practical perspective on how a data science or a AI can be applied in the industry and how the students can be prepared with the help of their faculty in their careers. So In today's session, it will be very much candid, and I would really expect a lot of questions thrown on my way once at the end. So let's get started. So, mainly today, I will be talking about what is this data science and software engineering. So we might all know, like just 6 to 7 years back, every engineering student wanted to become a developer or a testing engineer. Now everybody wants to become a data science engineer or a ML engineer or a Python person who knows Python end to end. Like, is it worth the hype or what it is actually? So this is one of the topic, and then we will also be covering this generative AI, data science, why all of it is done in Python, why not any object-based programming languages, even though we learn Java, .NET and other languages, why particularly Python? So how you are the primary point of the knowledge. S- just a moment, sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So, because you are the primary point of contact for the students with the outside world, and you are the first point where you guys will provide the knowledge to the students. So, we will be going through some AI tools which you can use to prepare the student for their careers. Like some small hands-on with very cool tools I'm going to be explaining today. Like, for example, our grandparents would have never thought like all this AI things, whatever is happening currently is possible. It's almost like saying what we have today is a luxury back then. So in that case, we should completely make use of it and we should try to learn as much as possible. This will definitely help us for a better lifestyle mentally, as well as I will say it will give that professional satisfaction once you start learning or acquiring new tech stacks or something new. This will definitely make your day-to-day clutter work or repetitive works very easy. So, and I'll also be discussing some in-house projects that you can create using the AIs and how you can leverage these AI tools for teaching and creating these small projects. So that's what we'll be covering. So if we see this diagram here, so it has a clear explanation on what is data science and what is software engineering. So let me take one example, like what used to happen earlier is like any software development we were supposed to do, we will firstly analyze the requirements and then a designer will design it and then an architect will come up with multiple solutions and then that will be developed and deployed. This is the entire process of software engineering. Now where does this data science come and fit in? Like we have designed a software, now that software needs a data. If it is a small set of data, then any normal database would do. But we want something analytical data, like for banking applications, we want to forecast. Like this bank has taken so much, given so much of loans, it has so much of credit. So if the bank goes on giving this many loans, this will be the risk that bank holds. These kind of predictive analysis and getting data. Like to do this analysis, we might also need some parameters, right? Like RBI must have set some standards, and there must have been previous data with some other banks where they would have gone bankrupt. So we have to compare all of it and bring that analysis. That is where this data science and machine learning comes into picture. So they both are very different profiles, I would say, but a student has to know where what fits in. That is when they'll be able to make a right career choice. Like if I have to take one more example, let's go with Netflix as an example here. On one side, this job is purely analytical data science. Like what Netflix does, it analyzes bytes of data, who watched what, when they paused, and which device they are using, and the model that says which build model they are using. So it gives a prediction saying the user has 80% probability of watching this new series. So this is a very complex statistics and algorithmic work. This is done by the data science. Whereas on the other side, we have something called as software engineering. Software engineering is nothing but whatever the UI or the visual representation you see on your TV, that is the UI. And whereas the backend, which is whatever this analytical data that we are getting from data science, This entire data will be formulated using a software and it will be given to this UI to show it for the user. This is the software engineering. So their job, so any software engineer's main job is to build the backend system that can take all these predictions and fetch all the required data from the database. So in order to understand the intersection of this data science and software, so we can say that data science is a model that is packaged and scaled. Software engineer is nothing but a server, like which serves this modeled and scaled package. So for the students now, if anybody says I'm in my final year and I want to choose between data science or software engineering, the answer that they should know is the final goal for them is not just to be a good coder or analyzer who can analyze this data science, but they have to understand this intersection, where comes what. So it is being the faculty, it is the responsibility of the faculty to train them in order to build and deploy both software products as well as AI powered applications so that they'll be able to make a better calculated decision regarding what they're choosing. So, in the previous, I just forgot to mention. So, if we see here, so how AI will help in all this? Like if I'm a software engineer, how I am using AI on a day-to-day basis is like I can make use of co-pilots. Co-pilots are very common these days. Initially, what we were supposed to do is we were supposed to write end-to-end coding, including a for loop, if loop, or a simple logic. Now all I have to do is make any co-pilot understand what I am trying to do. That will give me the ready syntax. So these co-pilots can be used. I remember Supreet was taking a session where he clearly mentioned about plagiarism and what is right and what is not with respect to AIs. That is the reason currently what all the software companies are doing is they are having their own internal AI co-pilots. In the sense, it is not like ChatGPT or Gemini's, but it is their internal GPTs which is linked to their internal repositories, internal databases. So anything I ask, like for example, if I ask I want to connect to this database, give me the Java based connection. It will not give me the generalized solution as ChatGPT gives. That particular GPT will give me a solution that is particular to that company. So there the data, what do we call that, data plagiarism or confidentiality of the data will not be gone because this is the internal GPT. So along with that, we will make use of GPTs in order to write design documents. This was a very repetitive work that every software engineer used to do previously. Now, all we have to do is give a brief intro on what we are doing and what are the items we are using. So it's going to provide us a detailed design document with all the approval cycle details also. It's nothing but a co-pilot. Apart from that, to learn data structures or to learn any complex multi-threading environments, or if I want to learn any cloud-based technologies, as we already know, the co-pilots provide a step-by-step understandable guidelines. So this is where software engineer makes use of this AI tools. Apart from that, this data scientist and machine learning, as their job is completely oriented in giving this kind of models to people to use. So Supreet covered most of the topics regarding that. So I'm not going to touch base on exactly what tools and technologies this machine learning and data scientists will use. So this is pretty much it about it. Now, if we see, like now, knowing a little bit of idea on where this software engineering exists and where this data science exists, there are various career options for a tech graduate. So they have to start their preparation by choosing where they want to go. Like the preparation again, all AI driven. AI driven in the sense, like for example, I am in my third year. Let's assume I'm very much interested in something like database handling. I love working with MySQL queries. In that case, my learning has to start in that area itself. Like I will start understanding what is MySQL. Like I will use AI GPTs. I'll create some cumulative courses where I'll start my plan like 1 week I want to learn MySQL, how it works. Next week I want to learn how I create database tables. Like I'm creating one dashboard where all the information information about all departments will be visible to the principal. So if I want to create something like that, how I'll create my data model, why it is important. So this kind of a learning I will do using my AI tools. Like if we see some examples here, if anybody wants to go for development, they have options something like software engineer. Either they can become front end or full stack or a back end engineer. And there is another field which is this mobile application developer. You must have heard I'm iOS developer. I develop Android applications. So all this comes under development. And there is another field, data and artificial intelligence. Both core development and artificial intelligence, both of them have equal value. We might have heard that since this data science is coming, data science has a higher value and development might vanish. No, both of them stand head to head. That is why I was trying to explain how these two integrate with each other. So in AI, if we see, we have a data scientist, a machine learning engineer, and a data analyst. I will explain what they do individually in the next slides. And there is something called as cloud operations and infrastructure. Like somebody who doesn't like coding at all, but they want to work with softwares, but they enjoy working like writing network policies, or they enjoy deploying the applications, or they are somebody who works with VPN network connections. They can choose something called as cloud operations and infrastructure, where they can be a DevOps engineer. And all the developed applications need a testing security team where this QA software engineers come into picture. And before starting any development or any data science, we need a product design and a consulting for request gathering. That's where this product managers, business analysts, they come into picture. So as a fresher, every tech student has a equal and open opportunity to choose careers among any of these whatever I have mentioned. So now, due to AI and evolving machine learning models, there are a lot of niche fields that are coming. Niche fields in the sense there are new job opportunities that are getting created. It's nothing but this AI prompt engineer. It's a very interesting field. Like we have ChatGPTs, we have Gemini, and we have Copilot from Microsoft, but we don't know exactly what to ask. That is where this AI prompt engineers comes into picture. They generate a small set of softwares which acts as a plugin to all these chatbots, where it will give us what to ask. Like, for example, I want to ask a question, uh, I am planning a trip to Singapore and I want to know the itinerary. This is a very generic question I asked. It can give a 15 days plan, it can give 1 day plan, it can give like all the trip experience in like 10 pages also. This is where this prompt engineering comes into picture, where it will provide precisely what we want to know. Like it will provide a prompt that we can directly paste in any of these chat GPTs so that it gives that precise information that we are looking for. And VR developers are nothing but augmented reality developers. So far, all the GPTs that we are looking at are text-based. Like we are interacting it with typing or with audio. So now there is an area where they want to bring this augmented reality into picture, where through videos we can directly interact. There are already some tools. I have explored some, like which helps you in like mock interview preparations. You ask a question, there will be a video kind of a person, and he'll respond back to you. So somebody who develops that. And robotics engineer, a field that never goes ahead or never gets old. So it's been there, and now they are integrating AI with it. So they are trying to bring emotions into the robots. So these are the pretty interesting fields that are upcoming. So considering all this, the student, when they are in their third year itself, it's better for them to make a choice where they really want to go, if they have an alignment. If they don't have an alignment, then it's better they learn basic required things, in the sense either problem solving, multiple AI tools, like how to make use of co-pilots, how to make use of software development tools. So a hands-on experience and all this, and they can go and apply for any company. They'll take as a generic engineer, and internally after the evaluation, they'll assign them a certain role, and they can always switch back from one to another. So these are some pretty, like a very simple explanation on after the graduation, what are the things they can do. So if anybody has any questions, like for example, one of my cousin, he started working in a company. He is working for a network engineer, and now he wants to become a data science engineer. Is it a possibility? Is if you have questions like that, please type in the chat box. So now to answer that question, like if he has started as a network engineer and now if we want to become a data science engineer, yes, it is a possibility. All he has to do is he has to learn problem solving, which is a universal skill everywhere. Problem solving in the sense dynamic problem solving. uh, Firstly, they have to understand if you want to enter into a data science field, how the data modeling works, how a machine learning models are created or trained, and Python, basics of Python, because that is a language that's been used. By updating all the skills and updating their resume according to that particular whatever he's trying to apply, he can make that transition from being a network engineer to a data science engineer. And to be very honest, in a blunt way, if I have to answer, yes, AI and machine learning has a lot of money as of now. And along with software engineering people who has a certain experience with in-depth knowledge also get paid equally or sometimes even more, because they will have knowledge of integrating these old systems. Like, see, data science is coming. That doesn't mean we are going to remove all the old technologies and we are going to put all AI everywhere. It's always about how we integrate a new technology with the existing technology. So that's where software engineering comes into picture. So both of them have equal weightage, so they can make their choice accordingly. Or if somebody is who is very good at presentation, then they should practice mainly these co-pilots analyzing the requirement. Like somebody comes and gives a requirement saying that we are a company, we want to build a cost management system for our company. So this is a very small, very functional brief they will give. A business analyst or somebody who wants to become a business analyst should start incorporating those qualities using AI tools. Like how do I create business documents? How do I gather these requirements? How do I convert these functional business requirements into technical? Like they just told cost management. What are the things that will come? I need a login. And if it is a cost management system, I have to analyze the previous costs also. So I need a data modeling engineer into picture. So they should have that capability to analyze, and how that capability comes, they have to practice. How? Very simple, AI tools, co-pilots. Because they are students, they will not have much access for enterprise level applications. They will have only for natural like NPLs and basic co-pilots and any GPTs. And so only these three things I'm focusing, because being students, they'll have only access for these as open source. So they can start there. So that's about tech graduates. Like, I would be really happy if anybody has any questions regarding the career choices that a student should make, or if anybody is stuck in the career and if they want to make a switch to something else, how they can translate or how they can make that transformation happen. And as I'm saying, it's not just about you having 1 year experience or 2 year experience. Even if you are at a career point, like consider me, like I'm at 9+ years experience as of now, and now I'm a technical lead who has mainly worked on software engineering, and now I'm transitioning into AI and machine learning architect, where I can bring in this both software as well as the AI together. So if I want to become a data science engineer, I will not be starting at the scratch, because I already have 9 years of software engineering knowledge. I will balance it by learning AI data modeling, Python as a language, and then I can apply for jobs like somebody who integrates this data science with software engineering. So I'll not be considered as a fresher in data science, but I will be somebody who is this integration person. So that's how usually a software industry works. Now, so I believe there are no questions at this point. So one simple thing, we are just talking about what is this AI, what is data engineering, and we are talking about data science and AI. So in simple terms, if I have to say, artificial intelligence is a top level. In the sense, it's a very generic term. It is when machine performs a task that normally require human intelligence. In the sense, we give some command that will return some response to that. Like for example, ChatGPT itself. It can answer the questions. If I ask, please, can you summarize all the topics that I have given? Or can you help me with the problem solving? Whatever I give, that is human intelligence. Whatever the input I give, it just responds back. There's a very high level picture. Like artificial intelligence is a father of everything under data science. Now, next comes the data engineering. Like, if a AI has to respond to us, it needs data. That is where this data engineering comes into picture. Like, I'm asking ChatGPT, can you please summarize all the countries that have temperature less than 4 degrees? I ask something like this to a ChatGPT, which is an AI. So ChatGPT needs something, right, to do these comparisons and to do this calculation. That is where this data engineering comes into picture. The data engineers, what they do is they provide or give all kind of related data to that model so that it can process it and provide us the response. That is data engineering. So this data analyst and data engineering, both of these roles comes under where they gather the data and they provide that data to the GPTs. That is data engineering. And like think of it like organizing all your textbooks, lecture notes, and research papers in one place so that whenever I ask AI something, it will give me the precise answer I'm looking for. So data engineering and artificial intelligence. Now coming to this generative AI, that is a third level. In the sense, first they started with artificial intelligence and then data science started. Data science included this data engineering and analysis. Now this generative AI, this is nothing but like from last 1 month I have been using ChatGPT. What if the ChatGPT keeps giving the similar kind of an answer even though I have been asking the same kind of questions in 1 month? At this point, we will be expecting the GPT to learn on its own and give us some response based on our conversation with it in the past. So that is where generative AI comes into picture. It is nothing but this generative AI creates a new content based on learned patterns. Like for example, all of you can try this out. Like if you are using chat GPTs on a day-to-day basis, you can just go and ask the chat GPT, like, I have been using you from certain time. Now I want you to give me an analysis where based on the questions or based on the searches I have made, what do you think about my career goals and how I can improve my communication with you, and what is the feedback that you want to give me? Can you give in precise point which includes behavioral as well as professional feedback? So if you can ask something like that to the chat GPT, that is where the generative AI that they have integrated comes into picture. It will give you a precise answers based on whatever the questions you have been asking with the chat GPT so far. So it's a very cool thing to do. You guys can try it out once. Like ask your chat GPT based on all the questions you have asked so far, what is the feedback that it has for you? So that will help you. So as I mentioned again, to ask this kind of relevant questions, that is where this prompt engineering comes into picture, which is not a like established field yet, but it will be an interesting field in the future. So just to summarize, this data engineering, AI, and Gen AI, all the three are connected. It is just a small difference is AI is something which responds. Data engineering is something where we give the data and where we provide the required data as it is. And data is prepared. AI analyze, like for example, data is prepared in data engineering. AI analyzes it and understands it. And generative AI produces a new useful content using that existing data itself. Okay. So how all this is done, how the models are trained. Like I was a part of first day's conversation. I remember he took an example of one Chesterfield sofa, where what parameters it collects, the search engine that runs internally using this NPL languages. It's like very technical and how the results are formulated. So I'm not going to touch on that topic as of now because it's already covered. So that's how basically internally it works. Like one Chesterfield sofa example he gave, it was very nice. So in that way, the NPL is nothing but this natural processing languages work internally. So that's the difference between all these three. I hope I'm making sense.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. Now I will move to the not $1 million question, $1 trillion question. So we can say $1 million like 10 years back. Now AI is there, everybody are billionaires now, whoever is creating AIs. So very common question that almost all of us would have come across. Will people lose their job because of AI? So let's be direct, and I'm being very honest. Yes, jobs will be lost for sure. Hmm. But what kind of a jobs? Is a software engineer gonna get impacted as the engineering students or anybody who is working on a day-to-day with clerical kind of a jobs, will they get impacted? Who will get impacted with all this? So to answer this question in a very simple way, yes, like earlier days, what used to happen, if we all have observed, there used to be some jobs like data entry jobs. There used to be call center jobs. And if a author wants to write a book, if he has written it with a pen and paper, there used to be some person just to convert that handwritten notes. It's something similar to data entry itself, but we used to call, there is a word for it. Basically, they write the handwritten content into a typed format so that it can be published into a book. And then there used to be people who used to go through millions of transcripts, like Zoom recordings, where they create the MOPs, like what is the main points out of that discussion. So jobs like that will definitely be impacted. So this is a very big theory that I have written, but in simple words, if I have to say, yes, like basic call center agents and paralegals, like in the lawyer firms, because their work is highly repetitive and it is mainly based on going through some documents where almost 80 to 90% of their work can be done within a minute using these GPTs. So these are the jobs that are definitely at risk. So even any of our students, we cannot, I'm being very practical here. Like every student who comes out of a college will not become a software engineer or a data science engineer. There are few people who will pursue a different career path, but it is good to advise them against pursuing certain careers. Even if they are pursuing, it is good if they are well equipped with the knowledge of AI tools and how they can make use of it, so that they leverage this, they can leverage this job scarcity or massive task displacements. So this is one advice that students should be given with. And one take-home message, if I have to say, we must stop teaching the skills that land students in Tier 1 and Tier 3 as a destination. Instead of that, we have to teach them the critical thinking, validation. Critical thinking, validation is nothing but, in simple terms, if I have to say, in our any labs or anything, tracing and understanding the logic is a small part of it, whereas getting a output is a big part. But now we have to reverse that mindset, where tracing and understanding the problem should be the primary part of it. Getting an output should be the secondary part of it. That is how the education system should reverse at this point. Mainly the architectural skills need to be improved. So what I would say is, currently what happens is every computer science student or any department students, they learn 4 years in their college, but they want to go out and do their internships, and they want to, buy projects from big vendors by paying certain money so that that project will have some value in the interview, they can use it. No, all these tips and tricks, it might work for next 4 5 years, 2 3 years maximum, but it is not gonna work after that. So it is best if we all, as a faculty with this training program, we start teaching them how to analyze the things and how to go in an architectural way. So, as I mentioned, AI won't replace the people, but people who know how to use AI will definitely replace the ones who don't. This is for sure gonna happen in at least next 2 to 3 years. As everybody says, every 15 years there will be a big transition that happens, and that transition is actually coming. Hmm. Now, to address one simple topic, it is not to make us feel any low or anything. Even I come from a normal college itself. Even I did not go to any IIT. But why IIT is different, and why all these multinational companies who who really add value to the society take only these IIT candidates, and why they want candidates from certain college itself? Why? Is there a reason particularly they are looking for? Yes. The reason being, in IIT and every place, what they do is they do experimentation over the plain learning approach. Like, for example, if I am teaching a concept of a microservice and a monolithic architecture, what happens? We will end up explaining what is a microservice architecture and a monolithic architecture, and we'll give an example. Done. But whereas in colleges like IIT and everywhere, what happens is they they take it as a practical level, in the sense they will show an application which is currently existing, which is monolithic. Like for example, our Indian IRCTC, Indian Railway, it is a monolithic application, and now any latest banking applications, they are all microservice applications, and detailed explanation on why they are behaving certain way, and what happens when we do it as a microservice or a monolithic. That experimentation than the plain learning approach is what they do. And they also, because they are there from certain number of years and all the resources whatever they have a very strong industry hold, because alumni programs whatever they maintain, or consider it the faculty whoever they have, they all go through this rigorous training that what we are trying to incorporate as of now. And also they focus on real world problems. Like, they will not look outside of their college. Internally within their college itself there will be a lot of problems, they'll try to focus on those problems. So I really don't want to say that instantly I want to implement all the IIT methods, because they definitely have this top 1% of the student group also. So we cannot expect us to have the top 1% of the student group, where the competitive environment comes into picture and students, can be competitive and try to learn more. That will not happen. And we also may not replicate the entire IIT culture overnight, but AI can be a help. And we can leverage all this, whatever the scarcity of the resources, or the student group, mixed student group, starting from a normal student till to a very bright student, using these AI tools. How we can do this? Like, by providing them solutions, coding challenges on a day-to-day basis, and making them into groups and identifying their actual interests. It will not happen overnight, but it takes some time, but we have to identify those. And enabling our faculty to provide conceptual clarity. Then nowadays what happens is faculties are mostly involved even in the administrative tasks also, because of which their time to do this research and get create this kind of learning approach, it's not easy. So to in order to avoid all that, all these administrative tasks can be simplified using AI tools, and then they can focus mainly on mentoring these students. And there is one more very important point that I wanted to bring is communication. What I have observed is it's very important along with whatever I am speaking, like using the AI agents, you have to learn how to analyze a document, or how to ask questions, or how to solve a problem, or you can do courses at a go. That's all secondary. There is one primary thing that is lagging in all the students who come from like rural colleges, which is the communication. Communication is not equal to English. It doesn't mean English vocabulary. It's them. They should be able to put what they are thinking in their head in the words, like irrespective of the language. It doesn't have to be English, but they should be able to communicate what they are thinking. That is what is lagging, is what I feel, and that curiosity that comes with that. So it can happen by conducting some forced pick and speech classes, which we used to do during schools because they must have forgotten, or with these mobile applications, internet access, everybody's so busy watching the reels and everything, they have forgotten this pick and speech and that cognitive ability. Pick and speech, group discussions, and a compulsory one-on-one debates. So how, like one small example, if I have to say, using this AI or ChatGPT or GPTs itself, being a faculty, you can give them a task saying, create one AI agent or a AI model that chooses random two people every day and schedules a debate between you both for a dynamically generated topics, and it will also record the transcripts while you both are debating on that topic, and it will give a analysis based on the type of words you are using, based on the number of words and the content clarity. So and that entire analysis report should be sent to the professor. So this is how a faculty can include these AI tools in the day-to-day teaching also, where this will improve the students' communication skills, their thought process, and also they will also spend some time in creating this GPT, which does this for you. So you don't have to do it manually. This is one of the project examples, just randomly I'm mentioning. Like you can ask the students to create a GPT, like train a model, which has to choose random two people every day, and it has to schedule a debate between them for dynamically generated topics. And that whatever, whenever they are in a call and they are generating when they are discussing about the topic, it has to be recorded, the recorded transcript, whatever, like in the Zoom or Teams, whenever we are recording anything, it will give us three files: audio, video, and there will be a transcript also. That transcript need to be analyzed, and based on metrics like the clarity, um, uh, content, how much relevant they are speaking, and what is the percentage of coverage about the topic they did. One small report need to be generated and it need to be sent to the professor. This kind of small projects they can try out, and all the required support is already present in Copilot, Gemini, and ChatGPT. They can start with this kind of things. So one simple example I'm going to take, like how faculty can leverage this AI tools on their day-to-day topics or day-to-day teaching. Yeah, you must already know all these things. Just I'm going to put it in order so that one standard process you can follow using these AI tools when you are teaching something on a day-to-day basis. Like I will take an example of microservice and a monolithic architecture is the topic that you are covering for today. First thing is, earlier what used to happen, we used to take the textbooks and then explain by writing on the blackboard whatever is present or displaying it. Now we have tools where we can create diagrams, architectural diagrams, how microservice architecture internally works and how a monolithic architecture internally works. Having those architecture diagram will, at least when they keep seeing these kind of architecture diagrams for every topic, they'll be familiar with this. They might not understand it 100%, but they'll know what is an architecture diagram and why it is so important. And second thing would be explaining these complex topics with simple words. Like before we go and give this session, we will go through this chat GPT and a small preparation how this complex topic can be explained in simple words so that any person who doesn't know computer science should also understand. So dividing it into such one small keynote kind of a thing. And then now if, for example, if we have labs, in labs what we usually do, we'll be testing it with the inputs which are already pre-written in the manual. Like if we give this input, this is the output we are expecting. So here we can make use of the chat GPTs or the GPT tools. I mean, the faculty can make use of this and create custom input and different use case generations. Like for example, if a candidate or if you are teaching a program
Vinutha,
where that,
sorry for
yes,
the
yes,
interruption.
yes,
Vinutha,
yes, yeah, yeah.
our slides are not moving.
Oh,
Please check
sorry.
it. Ah.
Okay. Okay. No, actually, I was mainly talking. So this is just one slide.
Okay, you can carry on.
Yes. So I have not put all these points in a very, in a slide manner, but I have one small document that I have created. Whatever I am speaking at this point, I have written everything word by word completely. So that document I'll be handing over at the end. This is just one small bullet points kind of a thing I'm giving that for daily teaching activities. So, and these are just some simple ideas that I'm trying to give. Like in the lab also, like I was talking about the lab, so I'll just go back to that topic. So in the labs, what we are doing currently, like custom inputs and outputs, that's already mentioned in the manual. So those custom input output we are doing. Instead of that, a faculty member, before we go to the lab, we can uh, use a GPTs to create some different inputs and different outputs. What are the corner cases? Like when a student is writing, for example, if he is writing a program to print multiples, like given the numbers, he has to print all the multiplication. Like if I am given with 10 numbers, he has to print the multiplication of all those 10 numbers is a program doing. Now, even though it is out of the syllabus or it is not required in the lab, we should make an effort asking them, okay, change this same program so that it should work for both addition also, subtraction also, and multiplication also. So in that scenario, the student has to, I mean, you should be able to give inputs to them saying that currently it is doing multiplication. Now take one more parameter, what is the operation it is doing as a string. Based on the string, whatever we get, do your if and else. If it is multiplication, call the multiplication function, or else call the addition function or the subtraction function. In the sense, this will enable them to work with real code where they have to understand if they have to modify the existing code. So where you will be teaching them a concept of overloading also, you will be also teaching them how to solve the problem. So you should make use of GPTs while teaching in these some of these ways. So, and also some corner cases, like what happens if I give the input as 0? I don't want the output to be 0 at any point of a time. Whenever the output is 0, I want the user to print certain thing. So this kind of corner cases handling. So all this information before we go to the lab, if we are explaining any project, so we can go through the GPT, we can paste that program and ask the GPT, today I have this lab. Can you please provide some corner cases that I can include in this input and output, and what are the simple modification that I can ask my student to do. So these kind of scenarios. And then short quizzes, flashcards, and summaries. It's very easy now. Like as I mentioned, if you are teaching microservice and monolithic architecture, then all you like after the class, I want to ask my students some very simple questions. Can you please give some flashcards regarding that? So the ChatGPT will give, and those things you can write it down and then go in the class and ask them at the end of every session. So that will simplify. And one more very important thing is everyday lead code assignments. The major problem with our students is they start practicing dynamic programming once they come out of college or when they are applying for jobs, which is a very wrong thing to do. We have to start this lead code problem solving and understanding the problems using AI GPTs. What I usually do is I go to lead code, I'll copy the question and I'll put it in my chat GPT and I'll ask, can you please trace this and explain me in simplest possible way in minimal number of lines? And then I will understand the problem statement and then I'll start solving. So this practice they have to start doing when they are in second year itself. So it should become so, they should become so used to this that whenever they see any dynamic program questions on arrays or strings, they should not think, "Ayo, what to do?" And all this dynamic programming, it is relevant to both data science as well as software engineering. So they can now use, they don't need a professor now. They can make use of these AI tools and they should be able to understand the, internal working also. So being a faculty, what responsibility we will hold is asking them to create a simple project which generates 10 random uh, dynamic program questions for them, and then it emails them on a weekly basis, and it takes their email as a response and analyzes it and gives them a code back. So you should ask the students to create this kind of projects for themselves. And then validating those projects, I mean, all they have to do is go and ask for any co-pilots. The co-pilots will already have the ready code, but how to use it is what they have to figure out. So you should ask them to do these kind of things. And I really want to show some cool hands-on activities with respect to these AI agents and everything, but I wanted to cover it in the next session. So if that's okay, okay, before we go, I'm gonna give one small hands-on with one. Okay, let's do some hands-on. So, even the presentation, whatever I have created, I have not done anything manually. Everything I have done using a tool called as, just like ChatGPT and Gemini, there is a tool called as Chronicle by Outscale. So I'm gonna open it. So it will look something like this. So you can all use this whenever you want to create any presentations or any like very like what do you say, animated, interesting way to produce or present something. You can make use of this Chronicle. So it has four different options if we see here. One is pasting the text. Like if I pasting text is nothing but one some random document where I have made. Sorry, can you see my screen? Chronicle? I think no. One second. Okay. Uh, can you see the Chronicle on my?
Yeah,
Yes.
finish
Okay.
shared. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Please respond. Okay. 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 So if we see it, Chronicle looks something like this, and I will give this link, and you can make use of it in your day to day. Where paste text is nothing but any random text. If you give, it will any existing notes or some scribbling you have done. Like currently, I am giving a class on faculty management or whatever. Like if I just paste that text, it provides. And then another one is, this is a very interesting one, generating from prompt, as I was mentioning. So I'm gonna explore. I'm gonna show how generating a prompt work. So, like for example, I let's consider I am a person, so I will say, I want to create cattle. I want to do cattle farming business. In business, I want to get as many investors as possible. So I want to create one compelling presentation which has details on cattle farming, pricing, uh, how growth rate,
Mhm.
and any
Okay.
other parameters which you find relevant. Relevant? Please give me a presentation. Yeah, presentation. So I am gonna click continue. So first what it does is this provides a prompt. This is where the prompt engineering comes into picture. It is not yet incorporated everywhere, but if you see even ChatGPT also, if we see, we have a AI prompt generator, which is a recent addition. it is under beta version. It is still under development. So let's see. If we see here, it created me a prompt: cattle farming investment opportunity, the lucrative world of cattle farming. It has introduction. If you see here, it is also adding the required animations, one heading, and there is a media with 4 points. So we can edit this also. We can copy all the customization what we need could be done. And if chapters is nothing but the number of slides. So if I want more slides, or if I want more like useful links or anything like that, I can add that also. Okay. And if I am not okay with this, whatever the prompt it gave, I can click on retry also, so that it generates a new prompt with relevancy. I wouldn't say it will give 100% exactly what you're expecting, but it's very much better than you going to PowerPoint presentation and writing everything one by one. So here it also, like in the prompt, I'll just explain this. Let me create a presentation. So if I want to there are three options here. If I want to make use of pictures that I have, I don't want it to give a generic pictures, then insert as a placeholder. So it will give that empty space where you can add the photos that you have. Or generate presentation placeholder images. Here it will give some images, but which is not relevant to this. And there is third option, generate presentation including image generate. It means whatever the topic is present on that slide, relevant to that, it will generate one image and give. This will be an empty, and this will be a placeholder random image, and this will be the relevant image. So I will do generate presentation including image generation. So it says what it's doing. So it's creating a presentation, it's adding the images. So one slide is ready out of 8 slides. So let's see how it works. It's a very powerful tool. So combining, I what usually do is like I combine this Chronicle with ChatGPT. So what I do is from my meetings, if I have any meeting recordings, I will convert that entire meeting recordings into text, and then I will ask ChatGPT to give a proper text document, and then I'll paste that text document to this, and then I'll create presentations. So let's see. Career cattle farming investment opportunity, and it's still creating. See, if we see, it's creating our cattle farming overview, state of that. And I didn't give full detailed information, so it is giving all generic. If I would have given detailed information, like I want to create it in 1 acre of land with this much of resource, and my budget is this much, and I want a growth projection for next 1 year. So if I add more parameters, the more precise information I get. Because I asked a very generic, it gave me a very generic project. So to make it more precise, that's where you should use ChatGPT. So if we see, it just generated the project, and here I can also add one more slides if I want. I can change the themes also, however I want. So, and even I can mention what kind of images I need also. So it's a very useful tool to create like presentations in one go, and any backgrounds, or this is basically any look and feel changes if I want to do. And then it also provides present option, and I have options like I can download it as a PDF, a LinkedIn post, or a high quality image. So we can download it as a PDF and then put it in our Microsoft PowerPoint and then edit it if we want any more editions. So this is gonna, reduce a lot of time in terms of creating presentations. So this is one very good tool. Let's explore more. Okay, one more document I'll create. So now generating a prompt. This is start from a template is like from the beginning. It's almost like a PowerPoint presentation where you will get some suggestions in the side and you will drag and drop. So this is of no use. This one, import content. This is very useful. Turn a website PDF for a PPT into an interactive presentation. Okay, let's do this. KIT Tiptour. So this is the website I have, and I want to convert this entire website into a presentation. Okay. Continue. It is generating a prompt. Basically, it is one step before. It's refining the narratives. So yeah, if we see here, very nicely it did. Kalpataru College, welcome to Institute of Technology. What are the admission details and everything, faculty opportunities? See, now the prompt is like very plain black and white. We can also like I can copy this. What I usually do, I'll just show. Here it is. I'll go to ChatGPT. I'll just say, okay, I want you to create a prompt for me to create a presentation on Kalpataru Institute of Technology Tiptur. Gather all the required information, and my presentation should include interesting animation, colorful slides, and it has to be very bright and very user friendly. Anybody who looks into the presentation should feel it attractive. So I'm generating the prompt. The best part about even ChatGPT is like we don't have to type everything now. See, this is giving me a prompt. So this prompt I can copy from ChatGPT and then I can paste it in the Chronicle instead of using whatever Chronicle is providing me, so that that will uh, create what I want. So things like this, and I can also add. Uh, Please gather information from the Kalpataru Institute of Technology website. And I don't want it to be very generic. It has to be very specific to the academic year 2025. How fast these models are working. Ah, okay. Yes. So, I mean, this is one basic example that we are doing. Yes. Yes. So I am gonna copy this and I am gonna go here. So this has already generated. So I have to do it using the prompt. Like if I'm doing it again, like paste a text. My internet is slightly unstable, but I mean, I think all of you got a brief idea on how to use this Chronicle tool and you can make use of it on a day-to-day basis. Like you can explore, even I haven't explored it much. I've been using it for some basic purposes. See, I don't have enough tokens to generate this. So I was on free trial, but you can try out. Like every day it refreshes. Mine is already exhausted. Okay. So this is a free tool. Yes. Is it similar to Gamma AI? Yes, it is similar to Gamma AI. I have explored Gamma AI also. But the problem with Gamma AI is it writes the code and it is like very, the slides that it creates, no, they are not well polished. But Chronicle provides a very well polished slides. Like what the presentation I have created, right? Like I'll just share one moment. All the entire screen. Okay, share. If you see this entire presentation, what I have created here, everything is created from Chronicle. If you see, made with Chronicle. It itself has added all the required images and everything. Just minor tweaks here and there I have done. So to answer the question, yes, Gamma AI is also a good tool, but Chronicle provides well polished and interesting slides. Next, are these free tools? Yes, they are free for certain time. As you saw here, it has some tokens, 100 tokens. In the sense, in a day, you can create up to 100 slides. So it's a free plan that I have as of now. for basic simple purpose, you can make use of it. Yeah. So, and I have few more very interesting tools better than Chronicle, which we can cover in the second session. It's already 7:15, so we can come back and gather again here in another 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinutha. Okay, we have ended up session 5 of today, day 3, where Vinutha has delivered talk on empowering tech education with AI from classroom to career, where regarding data science, she has elaborated on software engineering development, implementation where data science exists and where software engineering exists, career options for a technical graduate, and also a $1 trillion question where she has given the answers why and how jobs can be lost, career paths and AI enhanced SDLC. And at the last, regarding creating the new chronicle and one real-time exam scenario, what she has shown us, cattle farming with generative GPT. So we have winding up the session 5 of day 3. So for a few minutes of break, we'll be coming back with the same resource person.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Let's start the second session. So, in the first section, we mainly covered a lot of theory topics, but here in the second session, I mainly want to focus a lot on hands-on and real-time things. So, we just came across one presentation creation tool, which is the Chronicle. Now, I have another interesting tool, which is WAPI. I will just share my screen. Yeah, a minute. Okay. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. So this is a second tool that I am talking about. I'm gonna give all the links. So please don't try it as of now. I'll paste it later because the servers will get overloaded and again I won't be able to present what I'm doing. Okay. So if you see this is WAPI, what it does is like an assistant. It what ChatGPT does, anything you ask in terms of text, it's gonna respond in text. Whereas WAPI is a tool which gives you voice-based response. Like if you have a meeting recording and you want to like you have gone through some professor's recording or anything, you want to give this to the students, but you don't want the students to go through end to end. So what you can do is you can use a transcribed using there is something called as scribble, happy scrib. What this happy script does is this happy script, anything you paste like either audio or a text or a video, it will convert it into a dialogue based like person one what he is talking, person two what he is talking. I'm not going to show this. This is very straightforward. You can use it directly like any of your team recordings or Zoom recordings. You can go to the Zoom recording place where you will get the text file. That text file you can directly paste it. It will give you that entire file. That file you can use in WAPI. WAPI is nothing but that entire conversation, it converts it into question and answer based. Like if a student comes and asks a question, whatever, if that presentation has that question, then this WAPI will answer to that question in a verbal way. So let's try creating one assistant. So if we see, once I open, it looks something like this, dashboard API here. So I will create an assistant. So I want to create an assistant which answers all the admissions related queries. So I have given KIT admissions inquiry. So as of now, if it is a default template, I can choose. It doesn't look like anything. So I'll just choose a blank template as of now. Create assistant. Here, once I created the assistant, here it has like provider. We can choose. Basically, it responds exactly like how a chat GPT or open API, however it responds, but it will be in a verbal. So let it be open API itself. The assistant speaks first. What's the first message? Hello, welcome to Kalpataru Institute of Engineering. How can I help you with your admissions? So this is the welcome message. Now here system prompt. What I want here. What I will do is I am going to take this content. I am going to generate here. I'm going to say use the no. What I'll do is I'll go to chat GPT. In chat GPT, can you give all details on Kalpat KIT Tiptur is enough. It will recognize Tiptur admissions and if uh, admissions. So I can use this. Okay, why am I doing this? So I can use this information as input for one of my voice agents. So please give all the relevant information. So KIT Tiptur consolidated. So it gave me all the required information. Yes. So it's a very like whatever is present on the Google, it is giving me. So now I'll go to my WAPI. I'm giving this. Let me edit it even more. Uh, so what it is asking, edit the prompt. So system prompt, no defaults. You can change the template and message. Okay. Okay. Submitted it. Your informative voice assistant. So if you see here, it is generating me a prompt. I just pasted all the relevant information regarding admissions. Maintain friendly, approachable. It itself is identifying friendly, approachable, professional tone. What are the guidelines? This is nothing but a prompt. It itself is creating a prompt and doing it. And if I want to add any external files, like if the website is not updated and if I have some new set of rules, then I can add some extra documents, whatever I need. This tokens, as it is a free version as of now, it has 250 tokens. In the sense, I'm not sure how the token works. I will say about this. What is it? This is the max number of tokens that assistant will be allowed to generate in each turn of the conversation. Okay, this means it will answer us almost 250 to and fro questions. Not just one question, one answer is one token. No, one question and one answer is two token. It is like that. Voice configuration, if I want any custom, so as of now I can use Harry or Cole, or we can add our voice also. That is a beautiful part about this WAPI. In a free version it's not available, but I have used the paid version once. We can add our custom voice, like if I want to add my voice as a response, I can use that also. So I'm adding Cole, and the provider is WAPI itself. No additional configuration. Okay. Okay, let me talk to the assistant. Let's try.
Hello, welcome to Kalpatharu Institute of Engineering. How can I help you with your admissions?
Hi, I want to get admissions for computer science department and in a management quota. Can you please give me what is the options I have?
Certainly. Admission under the management quota is a popular choice, especially for courses like computer science engineering. Let me give you an idea about how this works and the options typically available. Management quota, admission options. 1. Eligibility criteria. You must have completed your higher secondary education, 10+2, with a minimum percentage in subjects like physics, chemistry, and mathematics, as specified by the university or.
Okay, so this is one simple example. This is very basic prompting I did. Here we can customize it even more. Like for example, if the user is trying to ask something out of the box or something which is not relevant, in that case have a general answer like how Siri or Google responds, right? Like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Can you please repeat? Things like that. One default answer we can keep. And then if we want to redirect them to some other WAPI agent, that also we can do. And if we want to give, instead of giving, if we see here, this assistant is giving me all the information at once. If we don't want it that way, if we want it to be like a question and answer, for every question they ask, only one single sentence answer and let them come back. So that kind of to and fro logic also we can enable. So this is a very interesting tool, and this WAPI, this is a, if as we observed, like it is mainly using OpenAI transcriber itself. So our students can use this OpenAI using voice commands, and they can go through the open source of this WAPI code, like how, I mean, there are YouTube videos that are available also, how they have implemented it. So they can also create some small assistants, which does this job for us. So this is something like if anybody calls a particular number, like recent times in mobile applications for banking and all, the customer care service and all, it works based on the key input, but now it will be AI. That's all. So it's a paid version. If we pay all this, it will, I can attach this to my phone number and have it. So as it is a free one, it is this way. I'm going to paste this link to all of you to explore this as well as the Chronicle. So this is Vapi, and this is Chronicle. So you can all explore this in all interesting ways. So yeah, that's about Vapi. And I had another demo. To my slides. Another demo would be how students can make use of AI tools, or not just students, even faculty, because most of you are PhD holders. It will be very interesting for all of you to have your own website. How cool it will be. So how you can create it. So I recently came across one profile in LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a very powerful tool in the software field or in any information technology field. So this person, Mohammed Riyad, this guy is residing in Dubai as of now. If you observe his profile, like it's very clean, simple, and he has used all possible certifications he has done. The way he is representing, like every job he is doing, it has all the descriptions of what he has done. And he also has a website. Visit my website, and his website is what caught my eyes the most. Why I'm showing this is all of you, once after all these sessions in 6 days, you can create your own website and host them just at the cost of 500 to 600 rupees per year. And how cool it will be, because most of your PhD holders, and it will be a very nice thing to have. See, if you see here, so this guy riyadpasha.com, you can have your own .com. And I'll explain how to do this. So home, it has a basic intro about him and what is the things he's been doing. So similarly, being a faculty, you can have your own profile. What is the specialization? If you have any PhD thesis papers, and in your past experiences, what you have taught, and any student, um, or what to say, any student interactions or any activities you have conducted. So how cool it looks. So works. So this is like a very simple project. What we can do is, like ChatGPT, as we already have, any website or anything, whichever you like, all you have to do is copy that uh, URL of that project, go to your ChatGPT and ask the ChatGPT, I want to create a website for myself with all latest animations and cool looking things similar to this website, and you have to add a document which has all your details. This is my details. So how can I do it? So that ChatGPT will give you a downloadable template which you can run, and I'm not gonna do that because it's gonna take a lot of time and my internet connectivity is a little unstable. So, but this is just an idea, and you can try this out. Like all of you can create one websites for yourself, and it will be very nice. So, some sample website templates also you will get. Sample website templates, wix.com. So, if you don't want the ChatGPT to create the template for you, there is something called as wix.com. I think in ads and everything, you must have come across this. This is a very cool templates, like business creative, what I'm doing, one page, what I'm doing. This is my professional template. I will ask personal website. Okay, so here he has view. Let me view. All you can do is we can edit this site however you want, and you can host this. If we see, so she's a singer, so we can do however we want. So having a website is something we should all think about. Even I have to get one. I had mine is little outdated now, I feel. So now with the AI we can customize in even interesting ways. Okay, I will give exactly what I want. Professor. No, computer science. Yes, this looks good. Department of History, about what are the publications, any medias. Medias can be any links. So you can ask ChatGPT to create a template like this. You have to give, or else you can download this same template and you can host it in one of go like there are a lot of places where you can host. Even Wix provides a hosting mechanism, I believe. So you have to go through that, then you can host. But it's good to have a website. That's one suggestion I wanted to give. Yes, now again, I'll come back to the academics where we were. So far we saw some very small, minimal AI tools and how LinkedIn looks and how to have templates and how to use WAPI. Now coming to the major point of addressal, which I really wanted to do is internship experience at college itself. So far, what we have been doing after finishing the college, students are going outside companies and they are trying to learn the technologies and stack, which is very jargon, like very new words, which they don't even understand. Instead of them going out of the college and learning, we can bring that culture within third year itself, within the like within the college itself. How? Knowing what exactly they should learn. Everything, whatever I have mentioned here, are some of the tools, irrespective whether they are a data science engineer or a software engineer, they should know. When they come out of the college, if they say that they have done internship, the questions will be asked mainly around this. What is Jira? What is AI backend integrations? How you do the DB tables or Scrum and Sprint, how it works. If you are doing AI ML, what is the NPL, natural processing language, chatbots you have created, Python or Java, what language? I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. And Confluence documents in the sense is one consolidated place. Git repositories have they made use, Dockers and cloud deployments. So f- to teach them all this, even we have to be, being a faculty, we should know what they actually do and why they have been used. So I'm going to give one small real time examples by going to all these websites and what they actually do, so that you can go through it in detail using the GPTs. You can understand them and you can help the student also understand what these are. Along with making them learn the academics, these are as equally important. Okay. So these are the main four tools that anybody who works in IT should compulsorily know. Jira, Git, Confluence, and a Docker. So one example I'll take, like whenever we are creating a project, like we have four people in the team. How we are dividing the work for these four different people? That is where Jira comes into picture. Jira is a tool, or it is one website, I would say, where we like one big project. Like if I am creating a e-commerce website for Mintra, in that case, login will be worked by somebody, dashboard will be worked by somebody, and the integration will be done by somebody, and then the deployment of this will be done by somebody. So to track all these tasks, we will use a tool called as Jira. That is Jira. And then Git, I think we all are aware. Git is nothing but it is a place where we all push the code. Everybody puts the code in one single place. Four of us are working, and all four of our code will be present in one single Git. Confluence is nothing but a document which has all the details about this project. Like what are the Jira stories that we have created, what were the initial designs, and what is the final approved designs. This is one document which has end-to-end details about that project. And Dockers is nothing but so far how students are doing is they create their project and they'll show it on their machine. Like it's, they do, it works on my machine. It is not the case. They have to put it on a cloud environment, and to put it on a cloud environment, it is a Docker that we'll make use. So why I am giving information about all this is using these GenAI tools. If a faculty can acquire basic knowledge about all this, and in their third year projects or in their final year projects, instead of still doing it as a manual process of, handing over the code in a pen drive or sending it as an email or putting it in a drive, we have to enable them to put it in a Docker, and the code has to be present in a Git repository with a proper documentation. And if there are four people in the team, all the four people should have equal tasks divided among them, which is mentioned in Jira. So I'm going to show how all these tools looks. So there are free versions of this also. So you can also try this out. Google. Okay. So firstly, I am showing Jira. So you can also create, I mean, they can use this free version itself. We need not to purchase anything, but if the organization or if the college has the budget, it's good to purchase it because these are all very relevant tools. And how to understand Jira again? Okay, there is one difference between ChatGPT and Gemini. ChatGPT and Gemini. ChatGPT provides conversational things in a very good way. Like if I'm writing a letter to somebody or if I want any conversational things, ChatGPT is a very good place. But if I want some relevant information like industry standards, like proper accurate information, you should always go for Gemini. So currently this is a Jira tool. I want to learn the Jira tool properly. So I have ChatGPT open, so I'll use this only. So I want to learn Jira tool in next 4 days. Can you please prepare a step-by-step plan for me to understand this tool so that I can help my students in using it for their academic projects? So let's see, I will use this in this also. Let's see which will give better answer. 4-day learning path, create a Jira Cloud account, core concepts, Agile Scrum, what it is, actually works, and a simple project creation, what are story, task, and bugs, actionable workflow. I mean, we don't have to go in so depth, but at least a basic understanding about how it actually works. So even ChatGPT, quick setup. So ChatGPT is more easy to read compared to Gemini. So explore project backlog. But if you see here, look at the information. This tool gave very relevant information. If we see here, open the story created in day one, practice summary description and everything. Whereas ChatGPT, it is like very generic, like it is very talking terms. It looks like a science project, not a software project. So yeah, so this is how we can leverage. So I'll show the Jira tool. So first thing, even a data science project which is created or a AI model, AI/ML model, whatever they are creating, they have to create the tasks. That is Jira. So I will use software development only. I want to manage my tasks. And what is sprint and scrum? That is also very important. But these topics will be not relevant to this AI/ML, but these are some terms that everybody who wants to join an IT field should know. So run sprints. Okay, I will just my scrum project. Okay, I want tasks. See, there is a very nice definition they have given. A small piece of work is called as a task. Like I mentioned, like for example, if we are creating a website for the college, new website, at that case, what we will do is the backend work, providing the data, we will create as it's a big part, like one entire backend that is called as Epic. And then the front end work is another epic. So these, and then the database is another epic. So totally 3 epics: front end work, back end work, and database. And then comes a AI/ML model like chatbots, voice agents. That is data science. That is another epic. So 4 epics I will create. And then for those 4 epics, there will be stories. Stories are nothing but individual requirements. Like in the UI, I want a website page. That is one story, website page creation. The second story will be I want another page where it has complete admission details. That is another story. Whereas for data science, the stories could be one chatbot I'm creating, that is one story under the epic of data science. So, I mean, if you go through this, these are just terminologies. What I would say is these are all very simple to understand. Just the terminologies we are not familiar with. But these are very important when a student is doing any internship or when they're applying for any jobs. So we can bring this culture within the college itself. Why they have to go outside and learn all this? It's very simple. So if the faculty can understand these things and make it a habit when they're doing their regular college projects, even they'll be well versed with this terminologies is what I would say. So I'm creating stories and tasks, and I want it to track my bugs also. Like once the software is ready, if there are some issues with that, I'm gonna create bugs here. So these are the different levels. Like for example, I have created one story for myself in the sense I'm saying that I will be working on integrating this UI with the backend. So when I'm starting, it will be to do. Sorry, before starting, it will be to do, and then it will become in progress. Every day I have to log whatever I have done. So this is how actually IT companies work. Consider a data science engineer or consider a software engineer. So you can explore this Jira tool using ChatGPT. You can understand, like you can ask exactly what is a story, what is a epic, what is tasks. So if we see here, so it created, this is my Scrum project, this is the project name. It says task 1, task 2. Similarly, I can add how many ever tasks I want, and you can assign it to the any user, whichever it is assigned to me. Like for example, if there are 10 users registered to this Jira, or you can, being a professor, you can assign the task to that particular person. Like in our final year projects, there will be one mentor given to 4 different students, right? So individual students, you can assign the task. So even they'll get used to these tools, which are used in real time. So if we see everywhere AI is integrated, so we know we need not to go to ChatGPT to or Gemini to understand. Here itself we can use. So how do we use it? This is the learning we have to do using AI tools. AI tools is nothing but copilots or Gemini, ChatGPT. This is Jira. And then if I talk about Git, I think we are all very familiar with Git. So I'm not gonna go there. Confluence is just another document. I'm gonna share how Confluence looks also. Jira. Okay. Okay, you can log in with yours. I'm gonna share all these links. This is Confluence. Confluence is nothing but a document, as I mentioned. This is Jira. These are all free tools, but every company will have their own Jira. And in the sense, as of now, if you see, it has assigned my name with this. But whereas if it is for Oracle, it is going to be oracle.com and their particular server. So it will be even equipped with even like report generation every month and how many people have done what kind of a work, if a work is stuck somewhere. So it gives that graph and reports. So this is a very important tool. This everybody should learn. And one more is this Confluence page. So yeah, if we see here, sprint planning, whiteboard, or if I'm going through a meeting, this is like whenever before we start any project, this is the document where we start creating whatever the initial design, architecture diagrams. And okay, I will show one. Product requirements. I created one. Yeah, yes. So it gives default templates. If you see here, target date. Like for example, in the engineering college projects, you can give a target date for the student. What is the document status? It is still under draft. Team members, all the team members' names, so that you don't have to maintain a ledger every time, or you don't have to do this manual entries in a system to figure out which student is doing which project or anything. Every student will have their own Confluence documents. If anybody wants to know, they just have to log into the Confluence and they can see all the projects and their corresponding details, and any work they have been doing, you have to ask them to keep adding. Milestones are nothing but this is the first approach we went with, and the next approach what's happening, and every meeting recording. If there is any functionality that is not required, which is out of scope, open question. See, it gives a template. So the student should start using all this. And the monitoring has to happen through these tools with respect to their final year projects or third year projects. So this is one. And Docker and Git, this is a very technical concept. Uh, how to say? Docker is nothing but when you have prepared your AI/ML project. The project is present in Git repository. Now the student want to present it to you. How they are presenting it? They usually run it on their system and they'll show it, or they'll try to upload it to some third-party servers and they'll do it. Or they will send you an email with the file zip formed and then they'll ask you, this is the thing, ma'am or sir. Instead of that, they can use this Docker tool to deploy that application on a server, on a cloud. Cloud is nothing but a virtual machine. Like whatever they are doing on their local machine, they can do it on cloud, so that all they have to do is give the link of that to you, or they don't have to give the link. They can put that link in the Confluence document where you can see the demo. So whoever is evaluating can directly go and access it. So this will enable them to learn Docker also. So that it's almost complete internship experience at college level. So like starting on mini projects, like I have created one simple steps. First is like gather the project ideas, brainstorm all the ideas when the students are divided. And then first make them learn the industry tools like Jira, Confluence, and Git using the AI support. Like at least 1 week or 10 days of time, everybody has to understand what this Jira, Confluence, and Git does, and they have to put their project ideas in that itself. And then, 1 second. So the design documentations creation, like what is the, for their project idea, what is the design they are thinking to go. Even to create this design documentation, they can use a AI tool. I'm thinking to create a chatbot for my college library management. So I'm planning on using the natural processing language with open API provided libraries. This is how the design document should. It should have diagrammatical representations and everything. And why I am showing all this to the faculty members is you can create some mini sample projects by exploring these AI tools, whatever I'm explaining today, and you can give them a demo. This is how it should be done. So then they will follow the same set of rules. Like, and then, okay, the project deployment to open clouds. Instead of, as I mentioned, instead of showing it on their system, they should show every project has to be on the cloud environment and every link has to be in the documentation. And all this manual work, what we are doing, like these 4 people are working for this project and the deadline is this manual entry should go off completely. All AI tools we are supposed to use. Dockerizing is nothing but deployment itself. And then the report generation. Report generation in the sense it took so many days and these are the use cases we are covering. And this is also, again, all these things, if they ask the questions in a right way with the Gemini, it will give you end-to-end steps. All they have to do is follow. Okay, some very minimal projects. In the Anita ma'am has shared the faculty handbook in the WhatsApp chat, I guess. There I have some 50 plus simple projects that can be tried out where they don't have to crack their head about the logic because Gemini or ChatGPT will give it for them. All they have to do is understand how it is done and to be able to explain it. So one project is this debate mate GPT, a AI debate scheduler. So as I mentioned, it should pick random students, 2 people, and it should schedule a certain time. It doesn't have to happen in front of the faculty. It has to send them an email. Today you have a debate with this person at this certain evening time or for 15 minutes. And whatever they are speaking in that Zoom call, it has to be recorded. They should have an upload option. The transcription, if they upload it, it should be able to generate a report and email it to the professor. So this kind of small GPTs they can create. And like in simple words, if I have to say, these days even I have seen some of my cousins who are in 12th standard, in their schools they're already teaching how to use these kind of things. So they should be able to do. It just needs a little bit of research and time and energy. That's all they have to give. Second thing could be a smart daily tracker chatbot for assignment monitoring system. Yes, this is one more thing. Assignments in the sense, like if you have covered a topic, I explained microservice and monolithic architecture, and you have given them with some 10-15 questions. And all those questions, either if they're in a Google Doc or wherever it is, currently I observe that everybody are using Google Docs. Instead of that, you can create your chat bots. That chatbot itself will redirect you to that Google Doc, and whatever the answer one person gives, it collects it and it will track that assignments completely. in the sense how many people have submitted and what is the relevant answer for all these questions. I mean, data engineering again comes into picture. The student has to load the relevant information, the textbook chapter of that particular topic to that chatbot, so that it will validate the answer and it will send the consolidated report to the professor. So these kind of smart daily tracker. See, if you observe all the projects that I am giving, I was talking about IIT before. These are all real-time issues that a student face, or real-time scenarios that even this can help the faculty also. It need not to be the student who does it. I mean, the faculty can help them to understand and to put more cases into these projects. So voice agents for Viva. Yes, currently Viva is done orally and manually. So you can create voice agents. Vapi is one example I showed. So similar to that, one small project of voice agents by uploading the entire lab manual. Ask questions relevant to this. That's all. Ask 10 questions, 10 random questions. So that's how the model should work. I mean, these are very simple I have observed. So similarly, you can create a number of projects and this has to become a habit. So now coming to the big brother, the final year project. So same thing what I explained so far using Jira, Confluence, Dockers and Git repository. This is the same thing. I have just given it in a step by step, like what to do, how it could be done. And in all the steps, the AI tool support can be used completely. So this is how the real world works is what I'm just trying to say. And I'm not going to go in depth about this. I'm going to share this entire presentation and I've shared the handbook already. So if you go through this once, not now at least, whenever the project comes, if you just open this and go through this, it will make a little bit sense. So you can use it. Yeah. Now, this is the last topic that I wanted to touch base for today. Now we have learned, like for example, the faculty also gone through so much of AI training, and they also start using AI in their day to day. Like you are teaching in a different way using the flashcards or architectural diagrams, real time examples, and then you're making the students do dynamic programs, and even in the labs you are replacing the regular input output format into custom inputs. After doing all this, now there comes a reality check. They have to start applying for jobs because I'm being very honest. Like rural college students, if for example, if 1,000 students are all getting outputted every year, among them, hardly 200 plus students will get placed as soon as they go out of the college. That's a big number I'm saying. Remaining 600 to 700 students, they have to go through this entire cycle, what I explained. They will either go and join a course institute, they will go and join internships where they pay certain money. After 1 year, half year of exploring things, then after giving some 10, 12 random interviews, they will be able to crack one interview. That should not be the case. Now, considering AI is also coming into picture, the market competition will become very hard. So that's why how to make it simpler. One, including AI in every day-to-day teaching activities and conducting sessions using practical approach. Second is helping them to understand how important it is to create a LinkedIn profile, how important it is to have a very good resume. And a resume in the sense there is something called as ATS score. Every company has this now. Whenever anybody, if I go and apply my resume, and it must be relevant to you also as a faculty, if you are switching a job and you have your resume, you want to apply for a corporate company, what they do is your resume go through a cycle called as ETS where they compare whatever the job description they have given and whatever the keywords that is present in your resume, they will match it. It has to match at least 70 to 80%. It varies from company to company. So it is always advised use this ChatGPT kind of a tools. Whenever you get a job description, always paste that and ask it, this is my resume and this is the job description. Can you please update few things in my resume so that the ATS score becomes 80%? So for every job application, you have to do this now. It's a compulsory thing. And it's good if they start the projects in third year itself with the help of faculty, as I mentioned. and practicing as many lead code and hacker rank problems. If they're not understanding how this logical program is working or how this flow happens, how the array functions are happening, they can again use that step by step learning that we discussed, and they should create sample projects. Like I have given 50 plus projects. By the end of their third year, every student should have at least 10 projects in their own personal GitHub repository. And that GitHub link, they have to mention it in. And this is applicable even for the professors also. Like students can create these AI/ML projects, but professors, if you are doing your PhD thesis or if you are doing something related to AI/ML, whatever the research you are doing using ChatGPT and all, you can create one nice documentation, readable. Like for example, if you are doing a research on one simple topic, I'll take. Mm, okay, topology management, it will be difficult. Okay, one simple mm, project on this AI ML itself, natural language processing. If you are doing a paper, like if you are doing some research on that, whatever you are learning, everything using this ChatGPT tools and all, put it in a proper documentation way. Like what is NPL, why NPL, the need for NPL came into picture, and what are the problems that it is solving, and real time where and all it's been used, and what is the future of NPL looks like. Like ordering this entire document using the help of this ChatGPT and then publishing them on your Git repositories on your websites and using those links in your resumes. So all AI again. So that's how smart work we all have to do at this point. So, and then email writing is one thing. Everybody has to practice with chat GPTs. That's what, as I mentioned, everybody should have at this point, if we are a technical people, irrespective of our profession, whether I'm in IT or I am a faculty or I'm a professor, I'm a PhD holder, it's always good to have some projects. It need not to be a executable Java or executable AI ML project. It need not to be a software project. It can be, as I mentioned, a thesis paper or anything which is hosted on a repository or Confluence page, and all those links in your resume. It will add a lot of value. That's one thing. And these are some useful links. Happy Script by mentioned, Vapi Chronicle, Olama. Yes, this is like all the AI ML tools are online, ChatGPT and all. This Olama is something which is offline machine learning projects. I mean, you can explore. It has some interesting projects. And then Appify, yes, Appify is nothing but if we have a YouTube video, if we give the link of that YouTube video, it will give the script, like text format of that entire video. And then you can copy that text and then put it in a chat GPT and ask, can you please summarize it in 3-4 lines what this is actually saying? So Appify could be used. And then Kendo spreadsheets. Yeah, this I wanted to show a demo. Like so far, we all have worked on Excel kind of a architecture. In Excel is an offline tool. What if I want Excel on a online? In the sense, dynamic data is changing and I want that to reflect on the browser. Like this is, like offline Excel, what happens once the data is given, it is a fixed data. You have to go and manually edit. Like if any change that happens on the database, whenever you download the Excel, I mean, it will not change. So this Kendo spreadsheet is a very interesting. Now they have integrated with AI, where it provides Excel kind of a representation on the web browser. What students can do is they can create simple projects where they can use this library, and they will have a database connection. Whenever the data changes in database or from UI anything changes, it should go to database, and any changes on the database, it should come and reflect here. So they can try some simple projects using this. Again, you can ask ChatGPT to provide some sample projects to use this. I'm going to paste this link. It's a very interesting tool. And it is very simple as it is in JavaScript and jQuery. It is not in any of those fancy Angular React. Very plain JavaScript. So it's very good. So this they can try out. So, and then for prompting, God of prompt is in the ChatGPT prompt, what I showed. This AI prompt to generate, AI prompt generator. This is the God of prompt AI. So now they're still developing it, but this will generate interesting prompts. I mean, prompt is nothing but what to ask the ChatGPT. And then draw IO, like if you want to create any architectural diagrams or if you want to do any flow charts to explain the students, uh, ChatGPT will not give you exact precise things. So what you can do is whatever ChatGPT gives, you can paste it here and you can edit it however you want. So this is one other tool which can be used. This I use it on a day-to-day basis. So I have pasted this link also. So yeah, I hope we have covered almost all the relevant topics which can help us in empowering the education and a better way to teach and a better way to learn, I believe. So that's all about today, and I'll be very happy to hear any questions if any of you have any questions, and I'm gonna answer it. So this will be the almost we're at the end. Yeah.
Participants, if you have any queries, you can put it in the chat box.
One simple thing what I want to say is by looking at all these tools at once, it must be overwhelming. I mean, why there are so many things and it is too much to learn. Yes, I agree. But you need not to learn everything in a week. It is like whenever there is a small project that, like when they're in third year, you want to create these small projects incorporating it, like don't use the entire functionalities of a Jira tool, don't use the entire functionalities of a Confluence tool. Use small bits, like at least for creating simple tasks and monitoring them.
मैंने कहा इसमें तो बहुत कुछ करना है अरे बहुत कुछ करना है इसमें तो अभी
Yeah. So sir, I think you are not on mute.
हम इसको आप
Yeah.
पहले अपना काम कर लीजिए अभी, क्योंकि आपको पढ़ना वढ़ना भी होगा, अभी एमटेक वाला भी पढ़ना है आपको। आप करिए, हम इसको करते हैं, देखते हैं क्या करना है कैसे। कौन कहता आराम से पढ़ लीजिएगा।
Dear participants, if you have any queries, you can put it in the chat box. Definitely, we will share the videos and all the related materials. Vinutha ma'am, they are asking some queries.
Vinutha? Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
participants
sorry.
are asking some. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I was
Participants
speaking on mute. I'm sorry, my
Oh.
bad.
Yeah, participants
Okay.
are putting some queries on the chat box.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. So first question, what I see, I was answering it already, and I'm really sorry. Shravan,
Okay.
sir. I'm handling introduction to AI and its application on first sem students. Yes, as they are in their first semester, they would have already made use of ChatGPT. If not, ask them to bring their laptops one day, or if everybody doesn't have, if you have a laptop, you can teach them like ChatGPT. Taking ChatGPT an example, what is an AI? artificial intelligence, and then how data engineering happens, how data analyst, what data analysis, how it happens, and why there are different models. And then one simple diagram, what is artificial intelligence, and then where does it fit in terms of software. Like take one old application, one railway management system itself. Is this AI augmented at this point? No, currently it is not. But in the future, how we integrate this AI, so how it becomes better. I mean, take any website which has errors and then explain them using AI how it becomes easier. And take one website where it already has AI integrated. Like for example, even in our Gmails these days, if we see, we get summaries. That is Gen AI basically. So these kind of examples and teaching, if we do, it will be very real time for first sem students. So even their thinking will start, I mean, going in that direction. So some insights on that. Yes, definitely. Like I would be very happy to provide the insights. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think any other questions? Shravan, sir, you can connect with me. Like if you need anything in particular, definitely. Okay, yeah, that's all from my end. It was a very lovely session, even I'm happy. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Dear participants, so we will conclude the session. Yeah, the participants are asking to share the materials. Definitely, we will share the materials. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So Vinutha ma'am has given excellent presentation, especially on data engineering and AI tools. So she has covered the concepts of WAPI tools, Happy Scribe, transform speech into content, how people can make use of creating own websites, collabs, and so many things. Definitely, this session gives us deep insights on AI as well as many of the tools and applications. It is very useful for all of us. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, dear participants, kindly fill the feedback form so that I am sharing with the, yeah, I'm sharing here as well as in the chat box.
Just one last thing to add. This is my LinkedIn ID. If anybody wants to get in touch, you can drop me a message. I'll definitely respond. Thank you.
Ma'am has shared their LinkedIn ID profile. Any other queries?
Okay, to answer this question, will they not depend on that for everything? Yes, it's a very good question. I think even Supreet answered this. Uh, yes, they will depend. What I'm trying to say is, it has to be a helper. It should not be the complete solution provider. Like, for example, as I mentioned, what project they have to do, that decision need to be done by them, even though ChatGPT might give them 10 options, that decision. And then what are the various designs they are going to approach that problem statement with? Again, even though ChatGPT can give them 10 ideas, they have to do it. And then solving lead code problems, how the problems dynamic programming is done, that will be explained by the ChatGPT, but end of the day, they have to solve it. So this is just a helping tool. And yes, it's a very good point. Like whenever you are teaching any of these tools, it's better to tell them with one add-on that it should be a helper and all the answers should not be coming from a GPT. So in one of the sample project also I mentioned, even the assignments, whatever is given, in that they should have this case also. Like it should detect whether this code has been copied. Like how do you think currently the online assessments and all happens, right? How do they do it? They do it based on if a AI has generated that answer, it is easily detectable by an AI because there is a way that AI gives the code. So in their model, they have to include these also. Like if you are designing assignment based a chatbot, it has to validate the code originality also. So this is purely for learning purpose. Once they are learned, like in the college, if you are assessing them or if you are giving them test at that time, if you cut off the internet, whatever they have learned, they have to, in the test and all, they have to perform on their own. So they will, I mean, these are some like how to say tricks we have to do. Because they are students, they won't be mindful about this for sure. So all the tests and assessment that happens, it has to happen offline in a controlled environment. So Redmine is also a good tool, but it is a little, I mean, if I have to say only 10% of all the companies will use it, remaining 90% make use of Jira itself. Jira is a very good tool and everybody uses Jira. It's relevant. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we're almost at 8:28. We are at our time. Yeah, Anita ma'am and Sanjay sir, I'm done here. So any questions, yeah, please message me. I will definitely get in touch. Thank you.
I think all the participants are giving a positive feedback. Like so, the presentation was very insightful, deep information. So thanks for sharing so many applications, usage of the tools, and so on. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so we will wind up the session. Thank you all. So kindly fill the feedback form of day 3, session 2. So we are ending the session. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.